right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Misty. This is Dinner on a Dime. We are in the kitchen and we're going to get started on tonight's dinner. So I am utilizing some ingredients that were left over from some things. I am utilizing some ingredients that were prep ahead, so the cost has already kind of been factored in. I'm going to scoot you over here for just a second so you can see. This is where my can opener currently resides. It's a hot mess express in my kitchen right now. I've got jars everywhere that I'm doing nothing with. I need to move all this stuff, but I'm just kind of out of room in my kitchen right now, so I need to get that stuff put away. All right, so I'll move you back over here so you can see what's going on. All right, so tonight's dinner is going to be super easy. Green chili chicken enchiladas. We're going to do rice and beans to go with them. We're just going to kind of have Mexican night here at home. One of my favorite quick dinners to make. It doesn't take long to bring it all together when you have a few things prepped ahead. So I'm just going to give my pan a light spray just so that my enchiladas don't stick. I don't want to put sauce on the bottom of the pan because if I do, then my tortillas won't firm up. They will just stay soggy in the bowl, and we don't want that. So we're not going to do that. All right, so what are we going to do? First things first, let's go over our ingredients. We have a bag of shredded chicken. You could do this from a rotisserie chicken that you just pull the chicken off of and put in the freezer at home. Mine is just some of those big chicken breasts that I roasted in the oven, and then I pulled all of the meat off of. These are the ones I labeled as non-spicy. And so we've got that. This literally costs nothing because the cost of this is already upfront paid for in that food that we bought and we used for that meal. This is just utilizing leftovers, so that's like free food in our pocket. All right, tortillas. These were left over from the big package that I bought and froze into smaller packages. I just unfroze them. This was already accounted for in another meal. So this again, leftovers, literally cost us nothing. If you bought a package of tortillas, you can get them in my area, a big, huge package for $3. You could freeze a whole bunch of them. That helps cut down the cost. Chicken breast right now in my area is $1.97 a pound. I will say this is close to a pound of chicken. So there you go. All right, you're going to need a can of green enchilada sauce, okay? This is a big can of green enchilada sauce, $2.69 in my area. All right, I am going to go ahead and take the lid off of it and throw it in the trash. Shredded cheese is on sale at Tom Thumb this week and Kroger. Kroger is 98 cents, a limit of 2. Tom Thumb is 97 cents, a limit of 12. The nice thing about Tom Thumb, you can get 12 shredded cheese, you can get 12 block cheese, and you can get 12 sliced cheese. So I did buy 36 packages of cheese this week. You're gonna see that in a video coming up. This is a Chick-fil-A drink that I got while my son was at drum lessons because I was hot and I wanted something to drink. All right, 1 can of refried beans. I'm not going to do anything to this except take it out of the can, put it in a pan on the stove, and heat them through. I'm not a big fan of eating beans like this. I would much prefer to doctor it up with some hot sauce, some sour cream, and some cheese. However, my family likes them plain out of the can, so that's what they're gonna have. I am going to make 1 box of Old El Paso. This is the Spanish rice, and this one, I believe all we are gonna need, is water and butter. We will simply follow the box directions on that deal, okay? So we're gonna get started on making our easy enchiladas. So what I'm going to do, this meat is bigger than I want it to be for my enchiladas. So I'm just going to start by kind of chopping it into smaller bits, okay? I don't want big stringy pieces of chicken in my enchiladas. I would like to have smaller bites, bite-sized, pieces. And so I'm literally just going to start giving it a rough chop and throwing it in this bowl. That's all I'm gonna do with it here. There's a video online made of how I roasted this chicken. I actually showed you how I roasted the spicy chicken and how I roasted the unspicy chicken. This one's the not spicy. last night I was so proud of Axton because he ate all of that really spicy chicken that I made last night. He really liked it actually. So I was quite pleased that he, you know, didn't turn his nose up at it or say it's too hot. He just ate it, and he did have, you know, a glass of water with it, but that was fine. He really liked it, so yay. I will tell you though, that Southwest Sizzle spice is hot. So if you're gonna use a Southwest one, be careful, especially if you're not sure how much red pepper's in it. It had a lot of red pepper and jalapeno seeds in that one, so that is why it was so spicy. In fact, my husband was like, I'm not sure that it really even has a Southwestern flavor. I think it just has heat. Just heat, just hot. All right, so there's our next little chicken. I don't know that this is gonna take a whole bag. If it doesn't, that's okay. We can use some of this on sandwiches tomorrow for lunch. We like to do that. We will find some way to utilize this in the kitchen. We're not gonna let it just sit around and go bad. That would be, you know, a terrible waste of money and a terrible waste of good food. So we're not gonna do that. This weekend is probably the first weekend in forever that we don't have a whole ton of plans. We got lots of plans coming up, but this weekend seems to be low on things to do, which is great. I am going to do a whole bunch of meal prep tomorrow to get ahead on some things and get them into the freezer to make my life easier down the road. I will probably record some of those things and bring you along for it, but we will see how the weekend goes. I always say we'll see how it goes because my husband will plan to do nothing and then he'll get up and be like, I'm bored, let's go do something. So to be determined. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to make more than one pan of enchiladas tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Once I get this chicken cut up, that is going to be all the chicken that I'm going to prep for this particular meal. So here we go. That is plenty. Hello. My daughter's doing a walkthrough. You can come around if you want to. She's like, no, thank you. We're having chicken enchiladas tonight. She likes chicken enchiladas. All right, so this is super easy. This is already seasoned. All we are going to do is add part of the enchilada sauce into our bowl, and we're going to stir it up. Do you want to come in and talk or something?
All right.
I'll come get you once I'm done recording.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. I was just kind of want a drink.
We'll grab a drink real quick.
Can I grab a soda from the...
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to ask.
No, that's fine.
Also, I got something to tell you about her.
Okay, she can tell me later. All right, so I have just added in enough of the green chili sauce to give it a good stir there. You can see what it looks like. I am going to go ahead and add my cheese to this. This is just going to be my filling for my enchiladas. So I like my enchiladas to have all of this already in it. And it's nice because I don't have to layer it as I go because everything's just already in the bowl. It makes it super easy to just use the spoon to scoop it in. So here we go. I'll show you what this looks like. Just a second. You want to make sure it's not going to be too dry. So that's all I'm doing is incorporating all of the ingredients so that I make sure that it's going to have plenty of sauce in it. I think I'm going to give it just a little bit more, because the only sauce I really need to reserve is just sauce to brush across the top of the enchiladas once they are rolled and in the pan. Okay, that's all we're trying to save the reserve for on this one. Okay, so here is what our enchilada filling is gonna look like. I'm gonna stop the video and talk to my daughter for a minute because she's just hanging out over here. She can't wait till I'm done. So I'll be back in just a minute. All right, so we're gonna get to rolling our enchiladas. This is pretty much the same as the beef enchiladas you saw me make, except the chicken. Same kind of concept here. If you saw the beef enchilada video, very similar, right? We're gonna put the filling in it, we're gonna roll them up, and we're gonna put them in the pan until we have a full pan full of enchiladas. I don't need the gloves at this point. I just put them on in case I needed them for the meat, but we're good there. So I'm just gonna kind of get these crumbs into the trash. Sorry, keep walking off camera today. All right, here we go. We're gonna get started on our enchiladas. So I had a really, really good job interview today. It's one that it's crazy how well it seems to fit my background and where I'm at in life. And so I'm super excited. I'm really hopeful that that's going to be like the one. So if you send me good vibes, send me a thumbs up, give me good vibes, because I'm really excited about this opportunity, and they seemed really excited as well. And so that's always a good sign. And I think it's just, I've always been a big believer of you end up exactly where you're meant to be, exactly when you're meant to be there. And so I think, you know, it can be hard to see that when you're living in the moment sometimes, but I've always tried to be a firm believer in that. And it's crazy how suited this one would be for me, and what a good opportunity it would be for me. So give me a thumbs up, send me good vibes, please, on this one. Okay, there's my other kiddo. Let me know he's going to his room to play games. So anyways, it's a good opportunity. I will tell you a little bit about what I do. So I work in environmental health and safety. So I won't go into the company that I previously worked for or anything like that right now. We might talk about it later, but we won't talk about it right now. But I won't be going into the exact same industry. So I will be stepping into, you know, a new environment. There's going to be some things to learn, some knowledge gaps to fill. And I know that, and the people I'm interviewing with know that. But what's crazy is this particular opportunity that has opened up is with a pharmaceutical company. And my background before my EHS background was pharmaceuticals. I was in the pharmaceutical industry for 16 years. And so it really feels like it would mesh really well, that it's a great opportunity for both them and myself. And so I am really, really hopeful that, you know, good things will come of that. So we'll see, right? It doesn't hurt to stay on the positive side, but I will tell you, if you are a firm believer of like you always end up where you're meant to be, this is what it feels like. It feels like this is the one. And I don't want to get my hopes up, right? Because I know anything could happen as we go through the process. But for right now, remaining hopeful that maybe I've potentially found my landing spot. So we'll see how it goes. If not, I'm actually in play at 5 companies right now. So we'll just see. It's just where do I land, and how does it change things for my family, because it's going to be working in a different location. It's going to be some travel probably depending on where I land. Now, the company I interviewed with that I'm so excited about would probably be the least amount of travel. So that would be good, because I do still have, you know, a little one at home, and I don't want to be gone from home all the time. So send good vibes my way. I'm excited about it. All right, we have used all of our filling. That amount of filling did make a perfect pan of enchiladas. Let's see what we ended up with. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 enchiladas. That is plenty for one dinner. As you can see, I still have some tortillas. I still have some chicken. So guess what? We're either going to use it, or we are going to relabel it. The chicken I won't stick back in the freezer, but the tortillas may end up back in the freezer, because that would be fine, and I'm not gonna waste them, okay? So putting the chicken back in the fridge, I'm gonna throw the tortillas over to the side for now. All right, the next thing we are going to do is start brushing our sauce over our enchiladas. I do like to brush them first before I start pouring sauce, because I like to make sure that we get sauce on all of them. That's what makes them delicious. We want the sauce on them. We just don't want a ton of sauce on the bottom, because when we get a ton of sauce on the bottom, that's when they don't crisp up any at all, and you get really soggy, mushy enchiladas. And I don't like really soggy, mushy food. No one in my house, I don't think, likes really soggy, really mushy food. So they would much prefer that I don't do that. They will still eat them because guess what? I accidentally made like 5 pans that way, and I put them all in the freezer. And as I pulled them out, I realized my mistake, and too late. So we ate them all that way, but it was not our favorite, that's for sure. All right, there we go. That's what that's gonna look like. I am going to start sprinkling cheese on the top. We may not even need that second pack of cheese, you guys. Cheese them how you want them. I'll show you how I cheese them here in just a second. Of course, I threw the cheese on the counter because why not? All right, there we go. So yeah, I'm in environmental health and safety. I have a great passion for wanting people to work safely. I know health and safety, HSE, EHS, whatever you want to call it, gets a bad rap sometimes, but it is a very worthwhile profession. That's for sure. All right, so I'm just gonna finish off that 1 pack of cheese. We'll give you a peek at what it looks like. There is what they're going to look like. Now, since I only put a little bit of sauce on the bottom, I am going to drizzle some sauce over the top now that the cheese is on them as well, because I do want the flavor in here. So this is the same thing you saw me do with the beef enchiladas, right? Is I just kind of put some of this sauce on the tops because it's delicious. We want lots of flavor, and I'll just kind of, you know, swoosh it around a little bit like that. Put a little bit over here. Go a little bit onto these. Okay, so everything in here, the chicken's already cooked, so we don't have to worry about cooking anything to a certain temperature. There we go. I'm going to throw these in uncovered in an oven at 350 degrees until our cheese is all melted. Everything's bubbly. I will use my meat thermometer. We will see if the internal temperature is good. If it is, then we'll pull them out. So again, this one, beans just going on the stove in a pan. Old El Paso rice just going to follow the box instructions. Then we will come back and we will see what dinner looks like all plated up and ready to go.